Buckle up for safety, buckle up. Buckle up for safety, always buckle up. Pull your seatbelt snug, give an extra tug. Buckle up for safety, buckle up for safety, buckle up. Buckle up for safety, always buckle up. Put your mind at ease, tell your riders please. Get your seatbelts buckled, everybody buckle up.
Open up the window, life could be so good. Take that sweet air in like I knew you would. Having coffee for breakfast, looking back at our text and on how you gone, babe. Take out the garbage, then I kick the can. You know that I ain't rich, but I can play pretend.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to LUVOL on Air. I'm your host, James, and returning to the studio today is my second returning guest, Josie James. Welcome again. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Let me turn this up. Boop. All right, sick. Let's continue with that introduction. So for those who didn't hear the first interview, which if you'd like you can do on my YouTube channel, I'll plug that more later. Introduce yourself. Name, hometown, genre, anything.
Well, my name is Josie. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I grew up playing music, and I'm blessed to be here in Nashville, Tennessee, doing my thing. Genre, I guess, is like, gosh, I don't know, like singer-songwriter meets like R&B. I don't know. I like fun music. That's
a very accurate statement. And how'd you get your start making music?
My parents both play music, and so my mom started teaching me violin like when I was in diapers, and then I decided to join jazz band in like 6th grade, and I was the only one that showed up for the auditions. And so I got to play guitar and just started writing songs from there. Yeah.
Awesome, yeah. And so who are your biggest inspirations, musical or otherwise?
They've been changing a lot. I think this is going to sound really corny, but probably my friends, a lot of my friends doing it, and everyone who's working that I've met in the Nashville music scene, working super hard. And then I guess like musically, I'd say, I don't know, skip, pass, next question.
All right, fair enough.
All of them.
So right after our first interview, like 2 days after, your single September released in September, named September because it was written and recorded in September.
Yeah.
And so what was the writing process behind that song like?
It was really cool. I wrote the song like probably a year before we recorded it, before I even went to MTSU. And then my friend Ethan Billups lived in my hall, and we became friends, and he asked me to do this studio production class, or project with him, with Jake Vrazel, and they kind of like tag team that project. Jake was the engineer for his engineering class, and he did this studio production class. And so the song was written, all the chords and stuff, and then in the studio they knew a bunch more musicians than I did because it was like first semester freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually no, I think it was in spring. But anyways, so we just kind of, they pieced it together, and they like wrote out these horn parts, and like it was just like a big like conglomeration of musicians that like I had no idea what was going on. I was like, please just tell me when and where to go. And they were like, sweet. And I don't know, and I made a lot of like lifelong friends from that session, which was really cool.
Awesome, yeah. Yeah, and so since then you have more than doubled your catalog, which is insane. And that started with, I'm probably going to butcher the pronunciation, Jesu Bambino?
Yeah, that's pretty close. Like
What,
Jesu Bambino.
Just more sauce on it.
Yeah.
Jesu Bambino.
No, I don't know.
Was that actually a different language?
No, I think it is. I think it's in Italian. Or I could be so wrong.
I think it is. I looked it up for doing research for this one. And I think it was originally Italian, and then someone wrote an English version over it. But That doesn't matter. They're gone now, I think. I don't know if they're dead or
It's like
not.
18 something.
Oh, yeah, they're gone now. So why'd you decide to cover this song?
I was asked to like feature at my church's Christmas Eve service one year, and the person that was directing it was like, I need something classic but like different, and like I was like searching for like hymns and stuff, and I was at my ex-boyfriend's grandparents' house, and they had like this like Christmas carol catalog, and like I found that one, and I played it for the Christmas service, and then everyone loved it. My grandmother was like, you need to record it. And so I did.
At the behest of family.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Awesome, yeah. And so what was that recording process like?
It was quite scrambled. I recorded it. Actually, no, I recorded it with a couple friends in Atlanta. I think it was like 2022 or 2023 in January, right after I played it. Then I recorded it again with my friend Anna Grosh, like a week before it came out. I was like, ooh, I want to put this song out for Christmas. This is going to be so cool. And then I just met Anna on a Thursday, and we just did everything, like vocals and guitar.
Was it just out of the blue like that?
Yeah, pretty much.
Dang.
And I think the song was out, like, pretty soon after, like, maybe the next Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah.
Yeah, and so what's sort of on the topic of covers? What is your favorite song to cover in general? Because you do a bunch live. I think last time I saw you, it was Misty. I could have sworn there was another one, but that Misty cover was really good.
That's my favorite.
If
you can't
I guessed it. Yeah.
I love that song so much. I was just singing it on the way over here. And, like, I don't know what it is about that song, but it's like,
I mean, it's a great
it's
song.
a drug.
Oh yeah. And so then you release, let's see, January, the month after, in January.
Yes.
Is it for the same reason it's any relation to September?
I mean, I guess besides the month that it's released, but like because it's called January, it's about Twilight. It's
Please tell me the book series.
Yes. Like Twilight the books by Stephanie Meyer.
We're getting juicy info. It's on LUVOL on air, finally.
I was reading the books in like that fall, and I wrote the song after like there's like that era where Bella like turns into like a zombie. And like you know, have you read the books?
I've seen the movies. That's about it.
Well, in the books, like there's this like it goes like September, October, November, and there's like blank pages. Like she turned into like a zombie, and the months just like go by.
Okay.
And in the movie, it's actually portrayed like really cool. Like she's like sitting in a spinny chair, and like the camera spins around her, and like you can see like the seasons changing.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, after I read that, I was like, wow, like she's like coming back. LOL. And so I recorded it with my friend Connor Huff. He goes to Dark Horse now, but he lived like right down the street from me, and we used to kind of get together and like just record for fun. And yeah, I wrote it during that session. It turned out really well.
Awesome, yeah. And so I guess we already kind of touched on this. What was like the writing process like turning that imagery of Bella spinning in the chair, the blank pages, and into a song?
Just kind of like reflecting on like, it says January I'll be back, which I think is kind of a stupid lyric. But I don't know, just like writing from that headspace, like the music was really like inspiring and like uplifting, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, if oh no, I just realized I want to make this same joke like 2 or 3 times during this entire interview.
It'll be canon.
Canon.
I don't know.
to what, the show or to Twilight?
I don't know.
I remember. If I had a nickel for every uplifting song you wrote that was named after a month, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird it happened twice. Phineas and Ferb.
Yay.
Yeah. And so, moving right along.
Is that from Phineas and Ferb?
Yeah, it's from the movie. Doofenshmirtz says it when he's doomed by a puppet.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
And so what was the recording process like for January?
Connor and I just got together another probably like Tuesday.
Just
the
got
fall.
it out?
Yeah, and we just kind of like hammered it out. Like, and he's really cool. Like, he's one of those producers where you can be like, "What are we doing today? Let's start something new." And then he just makes a drum beat, and like he's like super good at like sampling and stuff. And like, if you ever want to like listen to his music is Huff. I think it's just Huff.
Huff.
Yeah.
Got it. And the next up, you released Bart and Valentine. Bart and Valentine. There we go. In
Yeah.
February. I meant to check this earlier. Was it released on Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what was the writing process for that one like?
That one I wrote when I was in my dorm freshman year. I wrote it about a reference in my psychology textbook. There was a Bartholomew and Valentine was like one of the references, and I was like, wow, that seems like a really unlikely couple.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just kind of wrote it like from the perspective of Valentine, and like at the time I was kind of feeling trapped, like not really knowing what I wanted to do. Like I was in a relationship and I didn't really know like where I wanted to be. And so that's kind of what the song is about, just like someone feeling like trapped, and like of course Bart is like I don't know, is it hyperbole, like exaggerated version of like what I was feeling. I guess he's like a metaphor for like feeling trapped, I guess. And he seems like this like terrible boyfriend who's so mean to Valentine.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Awesome. And so what was the recording process of that one like?
I met my key player at the student union, the Live at Lunch. It was like one of the first ones at school. And I was playing, and he was like, yo, this was actually my first interaction with like a producer on campus at MTSU. Or like actually ever. And he was like, yo, like I produce, like you should come over, like we could make something. I was like, cool. Am I gonna get like mugged? And so the next week, I think.
Oh, those audio production majors, can't trust them.
Well, I had never done anything like that before. Like I'm so surprised at the amount of like random people's houses I've been to.
Mm-hmm.
Like this entire time being in Nashville, I've been to so many random houses, like so many random people that I like just meet at like a concert at night,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, we should do something. And then like it would be risky, but like I don't know what it is about Nashville, but everyone is so nice. And I promise I'm like not trying to put myself in danger, but like this is it's the way that it is.
Do you know the story of Phil Spector?
No.
Good, don't look it up. It'll terrify you of doing anything.
Oh, wait. Wasn't he like really like interesting?
That's one way to put it. Yeah. I think at one point he threatened John Lennon at gunpoint in the studio.
Oh wow.
So
we love that. Well, KJ was nothing like that.
Fair. I hope no one in the Murfreesboro, Nashville area is like that, or just in general. I hope no one's like that.
But yeah, he asked me if I wanted to meet up, and we met up, and I showed him that song. He was like, "Let's do something with it." So it was cool.
Awesome, yeah. And so next up, another collaboration.
Yes.
This one with Be Real, and it was a song that played at the top of this interview. Say What You Want,
Yes.
released March of this year.
Mhm.
So it seems like you're averaging out about a song per month or so.
Yes, that was the goal for New Year's. That was my resolution.
And we'll get to it later, but it seems like you're going to continue that trend.
Yeah.
And so you also collabed with Be Real on your cover of Blackbird.
Mhm.
And so how did you two meet, and how did the collaboration like come about?
We met through Match Records. Actually, like the audition, it was like the top 10. They had them come in and actually play across the hall, in that big like lecture room.
Mhm.
And we just met outside, like, and he was like, "Yo, I'm Be Real, Brian." And then like just keep seeing him. He's everywhere. Oh my, like he's literally everywhere. Actually, he's nowhere this semester.
He's staring into the window right now.
I wouldn't be surprised, actually. But yeah, so he was just kind of everywhere, and his voice is just like majestic. And so the Blackbird one was for my friend TZ's studio production project, or it was like the close mic production project or whatever, where you have to record a song with one mic, and he just crossed the session and like came in and we did it together. And then the next one, Connor and I, was the same deal. Like, we recorded Say What You Want, and I was like, dude, it's missing something. Like, we wanted to have him do vocals, but I just like, we should call Brian. Like, we need to call Brian on this one. It'd be so cool. And so, yeah, that's kind of how I just called him, and he came in.
I'm sensing a theme that, like, most people you've collaborated with, you just kind of met one day out of nowhere.
Kind of. That's kind of how it is.
That's the fun thing of being on a college campus. It's just like, you'll turn around and someone in your class is like, hey, I'm a producer. Let's make something or something.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. And it's like so much worse in Nashville because everyone's like trying to make money too. So.
Yeah, the heart and soul of music rests solely in college campuses, nowhere else.
Yes.
And so what was the writing process like for Say What You Want?
Same exact thing as January. We met up, I think it was during the fall or something, and we were like, what are we doing today? And then Connor just summoned a song and summoned words, and we just like did it.
I like to imagine you just like drew a pentagram on the floor and it was like, boom, words.
Yes, that's kind of how it feels a little bit.
And then was the recording also just kind of like an out of the blue thing?
Yeah, like he writes at his laptop. So
okay.
like he'd be like sitting on his laptop making stuff, and like while he's like figuring out drum beats and stuff, like I start writing the words on the note app.
So like the production of it and the writing of it kind of happen like coincide.
Yeah, that's how a lot of my stuff lately has been, and it's been actually, I prefer it. It's kind of like writing with a guitar, except like producers, like your instruments are kind of like your computer, and so like it's really fun that way.
There's a much like clear sound of it. Like you don't just have to imagine it, because with whoa, with the guitar, yeah, basically, with the guitar, with just guitar and vocals, it's like you have to put more thought into imagining it. But then when you have it just laid out on a computer screen, it's like, oh, this is what it's going to sound like, or this is a rough approximation of what it's going to sound like. And then releasing tomorrow, you have another collaboration with Just Blake, titled Noodle Soup.
Yes.
This is the second nickel yeah, this is the second nickel joke. If I had a nickel for every time we scheduled an interview for right before you drop a new song, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird it happened twice.
Oh my gosh, I like that joke. If I had a nickel for every time you said that joke.
I was just about to do that.
I have 2
Stole
nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
Interview's canceled.
No!
Anyway, so what was the writing process like for Noodle Soup?
That one was also a big story. Sorry, these are all like so long-winded.
No, it's good. We need to fill time.
But Sav, she's an artist around campus.
Yes.
She and Blake, they were like, oh my gosh, we should do this writing camp. Yeah, she actually came out with a song. I noticed you looking at the playlist.
Yeah, it's Child Tittle by Sav.
Yes.
Like started just as you started talking
No
about her.
way.
Yeah.
Whoa, weird.
Which you played violin on.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
How do you know that?
Because you posted about it.
Nobody looks at what I post.
I have to do my research, man. I don't know.
That's crazy. But yeah. So they were both like, "Oh my gosh, it'd be so cool if we do this like retreat over spring break," and it was like 4 days long, and she found a cabin in Blue Ridge, Georgia, and Blake was like, yo, can I invite my friends? And this dude named Charlie from California came and flew in for this retreat. I'm not sure if it was just for this retreat, but like he was here for it, and a couple other of Blake's Atlanta friends came up, and it was literally just 4 days straight of like making music and doing that. We had like a big studio space on the main floor, a studio upstairs, studio in the base, 2 studios I think in the base, maybe like a studio. I don't know. It was like by studio I mean like MacBook and 2 speakers.
Oh well, yeah. Still, that's
but it's
with,
like, yeah.
with that many in a cab and to live in like a 3-story cabin.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, and then like Sav and I would sometimes like go outside and bring our guitars, and there was this big porch. It was like heaven. It was literally heaven. And on the first night, literally when we got there, Charlie was showing us this beat, and he was like, yo, I have this song. I don't really know what I'm going to do with it. Like, do you want to try putting some lyrics to it? And I was like, yes. And then first night, we pretty much finished it. Second night, Blake added a verse. And maybe it was like the second or third day, Blake added a verse. And we were like, wait, this is like a song. And we were like, ASAP, we need to get it as soon as possible, ASAP. And so, yeah, that's kind of how it formed.
Awesome. Yeah. And so was it like another? A lot of these it sounds like it was, or with a lot of your songs, it sounds like the recording just happened in like a day or two.
Yeah.
This one sounds like it took place over like a couple days.
Yeah. The beat was already made, and it was just like vocals and backup vocals, and then yeah. And I think the only reason why it took a couple days was Blake putting a verse on it and deciding who was gonna feature.
Awesome. Yeah. And so what kind of sound can we expect from it?
Very like Remy Wolf-esque, I think. Lately I've been getting like kind of into like music that I don't like doesn't take itself too seriously, so fun sound.
Mm-hmm.
You can look at my promos on TikTok. A little bit more of a hip hop sound too, I guess. But yeah, you'll just have to see.
Awesome.
Tonight. I can't believe it's tonight.
Yeah, is it dropping at midnight?
I think so. Maybe it's 11. I don't know.
So then
I can listen to it on the way home.
11 or midnight CST, and
Yeah.
then midnight or 1 a.m. Was that Eastern? And then, I'm not gonna do the math for the other ones.
6 hours later.
Yeah. And then was Child Stable by Sav also part of this like cabin retreat thing?
Sav, I think, recorded that with Attic Records, which is like a group of guys off campus, like in the Murfreesboro area. And I think Caroline Bowling, Raven, a couple other artists, Mario Williams, they've worked with Attic. But I think this was Sav's first time working with them, and they did a great job. But that was recent. That was around the same time.
Because I think it just released yesterday. I know it was recent. Was it last week?
No, it might have been Tuesday. Monday or Tuesday. It was on her birthday. Maybe Monday.
I don't know when her birthday is.
I think
haven't
Monday.
talked to her
Well,
that
why am I
much.
looking at you for that? When is her birthday? Tell me.
Well, yeah.
I think it was Monday.
So you have a couple upcoming projects and collabs going on.
Yes.
You mentioned both TZ and a Grosh.
Yes.
Grosh, right?
Anna Grosh, yes.
Anna Grosh. And so what can we expect from those collaborations?
Well, so 2 singles that I have out now, and I think it's like 3 more songs are all going to be put into an EP and releasing on April 25th, so not tomorrow, but next Friday, which is coming up really fast. I have to make promo. But nobody knows. It's the EP nobody knows about and probably never will. I'm joking. They will probably eventually, whenever I get around to it.
It's advertised right in your Instagram bio.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. That's if you need to know anything, go to my bio.
Yep, and it's Blurt, great.
Yes. Blurt.
Great name.
Thanks. I named it because it was like a conglomeration of songs that like all kind of also summoned throughout my freshman year. I spent my whole freshman year just like anyone who had a laptop with Logic, I was trying to write with them, collaborate with them, and then I kind of summed out all the songs, picked my favorite, like few, and I'm blurting it out because my parents want me to.
Yeah, and I think it's a great name for a couple different reasons. Like one, your most recent studio single, Say What You Want, like the cover art for it is a mouth just like yelling, like it's blurting out something. And also it like works with your songwriting style where it's just like you and someone else pair up and it's just like bam, done.
Yeah.
And also your singing style in general. We'll hear a song after the break called Pizza Tonight.
Yeah.
Which is very fast. And all the I don't know how you can concentrate playing guitar and singing those verses at the same time. Because I fumble over my words a lot.
So do I. That song, no.
But like, yeah, that one is a very like blurty, fast song.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, what else can we expect? Anything else you would like to share coming up in the future?
Just like anything?
Anything.
So I'm going, Lily Hart and I finished a tour in January. We did our first little Southeast tour. And then we're going to go out again in the summer. And so I'm going to spend all summer on Cape Cod, like doing a bunch of like corporate and wineries and coffee shops and like whatever, trying to make some moolah. And then Lily's going to fly up to Cape Cod and we're going to start our summer East Coast tour and do a little road trip
Awesome.
down the East Coast.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about you playing live, and we'll go more in depth to your first tour with Lily later on. We have a little bit of time before the break. I think, yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, you were the first person I did this with, was the 1 through 25 things.
I was the first. You seemed like you knew exactly what was going on last time.
Oh, I didn't. Because there was so much space to fill.
Right.
Well, because I did Truman first, and I realized, there's so much space to fill. I didn't write enough specific questions.
Was
so
Truman your first interview?
Yeah.
Wow. You're very good at this.
Thank you.
It's natural.
So, yeah, pick any number 1 through 25.
17.
17. You picked one of the ones I'm asking later.
Oh no! Well, I can pick another number. If you want. 13.
13. What do you think is your weirdest song or weirdest inspiration for a song?
I have one song that is called Ashua, and it's like off of my first EP ever. I took it off of streaming platforms. It was under my Josie J artist project, and I was listening to a lot. It's not like weird, but like. It's like a chant, like almost like Gregorian. I don't have the audio file, but I have it on my phone, and I don't know where it is. Well, maybe it's still on Apple Music. Anyways, it's like a Ishua wah wah Ishua. It's really funny. But I was listening to a lot of Jacob Collier over COVID and stuff, and like I think what spawned that song was the fan in my bathroom. Was like an F sharp. It was like a.
Oh, and so you were like singing over that.
Yeah. I was like,
okay, I see.
So, and then I was like, I should record this.
Awesome, yeah. When we return to the break, we will be talking about playing live, and then going back to these questions, and we inevitably run out of questions.
Yeah.
Before that, here's the last 15 seconds of Manor Muppet.
Sweet.
Sunny day and I'm thinking about how life's been. Then I cross the street out of the corner of my eye. Oh, it's been a minute. I remember your shoes, I remember your style, I remember how you wore the hair. But the one thing I can't put a pin on is, did you really care? Leave them gay. Hey, oh hey. So nice to meet you. You're fine, so fine. How do you want me to treat you? I got so many questions and you've got all the answers. Yes, I gotta ask you right. So I say, hey.
I hope I got the levels right. I'm just eyeballing it. Hold on. I need to be louder. There we go. Hello. Hello. We're back. We're back with Josie James in the studio, LUVOL on air.
Yeah.
That was Pizza Tonight, spelled in all caps, Pizza TN, live at Diana Street, your most recent single.
Yes.
I was just telling you, it's probably my favorite song that you've released so far.
Yeah.
And it makes a very good transition into talking about playing live.
Yeah.
So how did you start playing live?
Let's see. When I was like 11 or 12, there was this competition called Dunwoody Idol that my good friend Mark Gallegos ran, and it was at a festival called Lemonade Days. That's in my hometown, and every year they have it's like a talent show it's all these little girls that they want to play guitar and they want to sing, and the prize was recording an EP at this studio called Itchy Brain. I actually don't know if it's still a thing, but I won it when I was like 12, and I got to like record, and I was like, wait a second, I could do this like forever. And then I don't know, from there I just kind of started like getting more gigs at local restaurants. I put together a band with my friends, and I've just been like doing it since then, I guess. And
Awesome. Was that EP the same that what was it called?
no, that one actually has not seen the light of day. And I don't know if it will. I was like 12, but the one that was that Ashua, that was
Ashua,
like,
that's what it's called.
I was like 15 when I did
Okay.
that one.
And so what were those first shows like?
Nerve-wracking. It was in a festival. It was, or I guess I played a lot at Lemonade Days and on the big stage, by myself. It was cool because the Domini Idol band like was like a bunch of professional musicians that were like in Atlanta that came, and like it was like a cool experience playing with the band. And then I guess like from then on, like Mark Gallegos, he was my guitar teacher at the time, and I didn't like learning guitar, and so like I would like pick his brain about like doing gigs and like marketing myself and like emailing people and emailing venues, and I like open mics in the area, and so I found myself a lot at Mellow Mushroom, Village Burger. Those are like a couple like hometown joints. And then Eddie's Attic was a great place for open mics. Red Clay Theater, Mellow Mushroom had an open mic. So it was just kind of like very organic in the way that like it all kind of started. And I was calling people and emailing people, and I still do that.
Awesome, yeah. And so you mentioned that you put together a backing band.
Mm-hmm.
Who's all in it? Or actually, first, does the backing band have a name, or is it just like the Josie James band?
We were called Earth to Joseph, and it was Ethan Intfield of Midsummer Motel, my brother who plays drums, and this guy Joseph McKinney. It's called Earth to Joseph because Joseph was bad at answering his texts. But it was really cool, and I still have our poster hanging up in my room at home. But we were together for a while, which I think for a while I mean like freshman to sophomore year of high school. But
It's a good 2 years.
before Midsummer Motel was a thing. And then after that, I had a band called RV Picnic. That it was a trio of me, my friend Isabel, and my brother. Yeah.
And so who's in your current backing band?
I have Patrick McGann on drums, Luke Foote on bass, and Noel Musson on keys. And they're my best friends. They're really cool.
Awesome. And does that backing band have a name, or is it just like the Josie James
We're called
band?
the Josie James Unit.
Josie James. Oh yes, Josie James unit.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, what's your favorite part about playing live?
I don't know. I really like just being able to like make people happy. Like, I don't know, there's just something about like playing and like everyone's like smiling and like having a good time, and like you're just kind of like, when you play music, I'm sure you know, like you're kind of in this like cathartic state of not being. And like I really enjoy that. And like not thinking about anything other than like just what you're playing and hearing what you're doing.
That flow state is always just very fun to just get into.
Yeah.
Even when I'm like just recording.
Yeah.
Because like I know, this will go on to be out there eventually, probably. Yeah. And so, do you have like a favorite or most memorable show so far?
I have a few. One of them is the first show that I did with this band called Young Original. It was a Christmas show, and it was like my first show ever with a different band. Like I was just singing me. And I'd always wanted to do like jazz standards and jazz tunes, and this was like my first experience doing that. And for some reason, they kept me on, and we're going on tour. I don't know, it was just like really, really like magical. They're all just like the most amazing musicians and best of friends, and they asked me to do an Instagram reel, and then like the next day they were like, hey, are you free this day? We're gonna fly you out to Punta Gorda, Florida.
Oh my gosh.
And play for a full house of old people. And it was awesome. It was great. And we played like the most amazing songs, and I didn't have to play guitar at all, which was amazing.
Do you ever play fiddle or violin for them?
No, but maybe in the future. I don't really know. I'm not really that good live. I mostly stick to like studio stuff.
Fair enough.
Also, they have a cello player, which he's like amazing. I would not be able to pick up my violin around him.
You know what? Fair. I feel that. Yeah. If there's like a more skilled guitarist than me in the room, I'm like, I don't know. I
don't know about this one.
I can't play anything. My hands are physically not moving. Awesome. And so we talked a little bit earlier about your first tour with Lily Hart. And that wrapped up pretty recently in like the past couple weeks, right?
Yeah. Actually, no, that wrapped up in like February.
Oh.
Or February 1st, January 31st.
That's a couple weeks.
Yeah, there you go.
And so how did that like tour and how did that opportunity like come about?
We were kind of like jibber jabbering over the fall, and she was like, I might do a tour in January. And I was like, ooh, like if you ever need someone to tour with, like let me know. And then a couple weeks go by, and I'm like, hey, I just got us a gig. Do you want to do a tour? And she was like, yeah, let's do it. And so we just started booking, like, from October to, like, I think we started emailing, like, pretty much the beginning of October, and learned the trials and error of trying to get in contact with talent buyers at venues. But we just kind of made a map and picked the places, picked the cities where we knew people that we could stay with, and I had an opportunity to go visit a studio, Ivy Manor in Muscle Shoals. And he was like, yeah, y'all could put on a house show. And so from that, we knew we were going to Alabama. We knew we were going to be in Georgia. Why not just make a little circuit out of it? So that was really
Awesome,
cool. It was a really good learning experience.
Yeah. How was the experience just overall?
It was great. We ended up doing a lot of like out and backs instead of like staying the night places. So we did we played in Knoxville. So we started in Atlanta, I think. It's like getting hard to remember. I don't know why. I feel like I always get upset because I'm like, how could you not remember a show that you played? Like you put your heart and soul to this, but now here I am, like being like, what?
Well, I mean, I would imagine I've never been on tour, but I would imagine if you go on tour, you kind of enter that flow state for a much longer time because you're like constantly playing live and like practicing and making music on the road.
Yeah, I mean, we constantly, like, we had a couple shows where we had a couple days between, but it was a great time for like Lily and I. We're like much better friends now. Because we were kind of like peers, like before we even did this. We just kind of knew each other from a couple rights. But now I play with friends. We're being good friends.
Hey.
Yeah, so we started in Atlanta, and then we did a couple shows. Like, we did one at Eddie's Attic, we did one in Milledgeville, and we just stayed like at home. And then we came to MTSU, and we went to Knoxville. We drove out and back. Madison, Indiana. We drove all the way there and all the way back in one day. And then Birmingham, she had a couple people to stay with down there. And so we ended up staying there doing, we had a Birmingham Mountain Radio, and then we drove to Muscle Shoals, I think, and drove back. I don't really remember. But it was just a lot of, like, where are we going to sleep and where are we going to play and how's that going to make sense?
A lot of moving around.
Yeah, a lot of Dunkin' Donuts.
Ooh.
Love Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, shout out the Dunkin'.
Shout
they
out
need
Dunkin'.
it. I think that's. Oh, no, I still have one more. So, and do you have any advice for musicians like looking to play live more and specifically looking to tour?
Yeah. A lot of what holds you back is like the thinking about it and like being like, oh, it's like a big tour. Like, no, it's just like a collection of shows in a certain date range. And so, like, a lot of the time when I was booking for the tour, I would be like, hey, Lily Hart and I are going on tour. The tour didn't exist yet. Like, we didn't have any shows booked. But I already said, like, we're going on tour between this day and this day, and this is how we're going to book it. So a lot of it is just taking the first step, emailing, literally just sending, like, the same email to, like, 1,000 different people, and hopefully you get yourself a tour.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's all my pre-prepared questions
Oh yeah.
done. And so now we're going to go on to what I like to call the miscellaneous questions, which was the
Yeah.
1 through 25. 1 through 25.
17.
17. So you already said 17. That was
Yes.
the one that...
Oh, was I not allowed to say that?
That was the
Okay.
one that I was going to ask, which I already did, which was what advice would you give to other musicians?
Oh, okay, sweet.
Yeah.
18.
Or 18? How do you deal with stage fright?
You know, it hasn't really come. I'm kind of a diva. No, no, I don't know. I wouldn't say that. I don't know. It just hasn't really like been a problem for me, ever. It's just when I'm nervous, like, oh my gosh, the OG Basement show that Match Records put on. Kylan Aurora, I think is Kylan. He went on before us, and he's like this insane guitar player, and I was like so nervous. I was like, how am I gonna follow this? Like, oh my gosh, I'd never seen him live before, and I was like, this is like the best thing ever. And so I was just like, I like to pace around at shows. I don't like to stay still at all. I just like, and I also don't like talking, but I also love like, it's like one of those things where it's like I want to talk to someone, but I don't really know what to do, and like, so I just kind of walk around and like a maniac, move from spot to spot in the room. But I'm also just awkward in like show situations because I'm not good at going to concerts.
Yeah, because I mean, it's a lot of energy just around from
Yeah.
the performers and from the people in the audience.
Yeah.
And so you have to deal with that with just sheer willpower.
I know. I'm kind of more of like a, not necessarily homebody, but I don't enjoy like being around a bunch of people at once. I don't know. Like, it's just weird.
No, I
but
get it. Yeah.
I guess that contributes to the stage fright. But-
Especially when like in smaller venues, and especially like house venues, like the Laundry Room. Not so much places like Hop Springs. That's like, a bar with
Yeah.
more room. But there can be a lot of people just crammed in like one space, and it can also be loud
Yeah.
because the rooms aren't like specifically made to be venues.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of heat and a lot of people and a lot of noise all in just one place.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And if I'm not like needed anywhere, like I feel like what am I doing? Like I feel like I should be doing something.
I get that feeling if I help out people with like recording something in one of the
Yeah.
studios.
Yeah.
Yeah, another 1 through 25.
8.
8. Let's see. Oh, what's the best piece of advice you've received from a musician?
I think George Strait. Who's the singer for the oh my god, what was that band? Drive by No, it wasn't Drive By Truckers. I don't know, it was a band that this guy that I met. Shoot. He's like, if I said his name, like everyone would be like, "Oh, that guy." But it'll come to me eventually. It's Greg. Anyways, he he said, I met him at Ivy Manor. You'll probably find him if you look up Ivy Manor, whoever the famous guy is. I asked him like advice because I was thinking about dropping out of school, and I did. But he said just avoid any potholes, and whether they're people, whether they're places, whether they're things. Apparently he had a pretty serious drug addiction, and like that was like a pothole in his career. So like when you set goals, when you have a career, avoid any potholes that you might encounter, and like just like stay the course and like do what's best for like you, I guess.
Yeah.
Like even if that means like someone that you like that like is taking too much attention away from that, like is not giving you like what you want, but like yeah, you know what I mean.
Oh yeah.
Like, so yeah, that was just like helped me narrow my mind set and music.
Awesome. And that kind of goes back to what you were saying about like stage fright, where sometimes you just kind of have to like go.
Yeah.
You have to like focus on, okay, I have to do this thing. I'm going to do this thing. I don't care how I feel. I am going to do it.
Yeah.
Which I guess for you just applies to everything, if that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, 1 through 25.
6.
6. Favorite song you've written? Pick your baby. Pick your favorite child.
Pick your baby.
Yeah.
It's actually a song that's not out yet. It's It's called See the Light. It's on an album that I'm working
Ooh.
on. It was with KJ. We've gotten together frequently over the past like year, and are working on kind of like a Claro type record. But yeah, I really like that song.
How much more can I interrogate you on the album?
You can interrogate me more.
Cool. So the album.
Yes.
You said more of like a Claro
Mhm.
sound. What's the writing process been like for it?
Same thing, just kind of blurt out. We get together, he's like, what do you want to do? And we make a beat. And it's just like notes app on iPhone while he's making stuff.
And are these like writing sessions spread out over a longer period of time, or are they
Yeah.
like more concentrated?
We usually get a song a session, and the sessions are like 2 hours. And it's been since, I want to say August.
Oh,
Yeah.
been a long time coming then.
Yeah.
And then how much is recorded so far?
Almost the whole thing. I want to keep adding to it, and just see where it goes. But I want to try and make it like 15 songs.
Ooh.
So, I don't know.
How many do you have so far?
Like 9.
That's a good ratio,
That's-
or a good percentage.
Yeah.
And then, do you know about a rough estimate of when it might be out?
Probably next year around this time, maybe around January.
Oh, awesome.
I don't know.
Sick. Maybe there'll be a third interview,
Yeah.
because I know Truman's been working on his next EP and his next album, so probably after the next round of interviews I
Yeah.
do next year
It's like a
for
cycle.
the show, it'll be Truman and Josie at the very end yet again.
We should just do one together. Like.
Honestly, yeah. Yeah, 1 through 25.
24.
24. Do you? This is always a fun one. Do you remember the first song you ever wrote?
Yes.
How did it go?
I was with my friend Ava Margavio, and we were at a lake trip, and I had my ukulele, and it was called Down by the River Bend, and we were apparently swimming in a pool of delight and rowing boats.
Well, I happen to have a ukulele right here. No, I don't. I'm
I was like,
lying
no,
to
please
you.
no.
About how old you were? About how old were you? Do you think?
Like 10, I think.
10
10 or 11.
Always a fun age.
I know.
Every
What a
now and then
fun
I'll like
age.
make the mistake of opening an old notebook that has like old lyrics, and
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
nope, put it away.
The giant handwriting.
Yeah, no, mine has gotten bigger over time. I used to write
Really?
like tiny. Like,
Really?
hold on, this is. We're on a radio, so people won't be able to see this. Just imagine like pretty small handwriting. This is how I write normally, and so imagine that, but
Oh
like
my gosh.
half the size.
I wouldn't
yeah.
be able to read.
I've gotten almost everyone
Blind.
who sees my handwriting is like, "How do you read that?" I'm like, yeah, 1 through 25.
16.
16.
Did I ask that?
What?
Did I ask that? Or
No, you
did I?
said 17 then 18.
Okay.
16 is any. Is there any music that you listen to that might surprise people?
I don't think so. I feel like it all kind of tracks. Because I listen to a lot of 70s music. I listen to a lot of jazz standards. I used to listen to a lot of classical music because I play violin.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. Adrian, like, I feel like my music taste is pretty basic. I don't know. It's like, yeah. I don't know.
And you can see. I hope I remember. I keep forgetting to put people's playlists on my story after my show. I might just have to do a day where I just upload all the playlists
Yeah.
into my story. But if I remember to upload it later, you will be able to see the playlist for today that was made by or sent to me by Josie, and that we're using to play underneath this interview. I think yeah, the 70s and the jazz really tracks because like
Yeah.
especially when you're playing live, and like you could really hear in like Pizza Tonight.
Yeah.
It's very funky jazz.
Yeah.
I think that's.
Wolfpack is a big
Oh
influence.
yes, that's I think.
Wolfmon, Theo
Yeah,
Katzen.
Wolfmon just had a song playing.
Yes.
Yeah, 1 through 25.
20.
20. Oh, any favorite like individual lyrics you've written? And why was it the one about swimming in delight? You peaked at such an early age.
I know. It's just gone downhill. I think September, just the whole song. I don't know why. I feel like that's like my best piece of lyricism, just because it's very Simon and Garfunkel-esque. I don't know, just like that whole song. I really enjoy.
Awesome.
Because I'm a diva and I like my own music.
Noted diva Josie James. Yeah, 1 through 25.
19.
19. Oh, how do you know when a song is finished?
What do you mean?
Just like
When recording?
this can mean different things for different people.
Life is a song.
Yeah.
It's still going.
Okay. That was funny. That was funny. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, this can mean different things for different people because, you know, some people, when they write songs, are a lot more on, like, the songwriter side of it.
Yeah.
And usually they will have, like, someone else be more on the producing side.
Mhm.
Or the opposite, where, like, they'll write it and then they produce, like, the whole thing.
Yeah.
You kind of seem to be like kind of in the in-between, where you're there during the production and during the writing process of
Yeah.
it a lot of the time. So...
Like, how do you know when you're finished with the project, kind of?
Yeah, I would say so.
That does mean a lot of different things for different people. Because my bassist really likes listening to Fish.
Oh.
And I'm outing
Yep.
him in front of the universe. And, like, he's made some of our songs, like, 7 minutes, 8 minutes. And normally I wouldn't be, like, too adamant about that. But I really enjoy that now. And I think, like, longer music is more of a more of an undertaking. But recently, like, when I'm working with other people, I feel like it's done when, like, there's, like, a swell in the song, I guess, and, like, after the come down of whatever, like, Noodle Soup.
Like the climax.
Yeah. And normally, like, after, like, the like, last chorus or something, and there's just, like, a little outro or something. But it's not really, like, meticulous. It's just kind of, like, understood. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all we need.
Because it's... I would imagine... I mean, you guys do jam on stage a good bunch of the time, especially during songs like Misty.
Yeah.
But you're not... It's never like Fish jams where it's like, this song is now 30 minutes.
Yeah.
However, if there was a 30-minute Josie James song...
One day. I'll get to it.
Actually, there's a question I'm making up off the top of my head right now. If any of your songs you could jam out to for 30 minutes, what song do you think that would be?
Oh, it'd be that song With Me. Do you remember that one?
I think was that the last one that you did?
It was one of the last one. I think it was the last one, yeah. And it's really cool. It's kind of like alt rock. I don't even know how to describe it. Like alt.
Alt rock's usually a pretty safe definition.
It's got an interesting time signature, but we made like this big like build up jam in the middle of it, and like it was just super cool to like be in that cathartic state doing that.
It's fun. I would if you would like to see Josie James live, I would recommend it. There's just such an energy there. Yeah,
we've got a show coming up next Friday.
I have a whole time in, let's see, like 3 minutes dedicated to plugging shows and such.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, 1 through 25.
14.
14. How do you beat or fight creative block?
Working with different people. If you can't tell, like, every single project that I have is with other people. And, like, I hate being alone. Or, like, I hate working alone. Just because I feel like it's, like, I feel like I bring stuff to the table, but, other people, like, inspire me, I guess, to, like, create. And so, just, like, by meeting different people and working with different people, like, if I'm blocked in, like, the songwriter world, I want to do a hyperpop track, or, like, if I'm blocked in that, then I want to work on some R&B stuff. So, just knowing people that are, like, super fun to work with.
Is there a Josie James hyperpop track coming out?
Oh, Don't say nothing.
'Cause that would be great.
Maybe.
'Cause that'd be great. Yeah, I think. What do you think the split is between like songs that you just write like on your own, like in a dorm, just with a guitar and yourself, or songs that you write with other people, like right next to you?
I think the songs that I write by myself are definitely a lot deeper than the songs that I write with other people. Other people, I like to be more like kind of creative with my lyrics, or not creative, but like
Personal?
less personal, more like fun, I guess, with what I'm talking about, and what I'm writing about. And I feel like the lyrics are just easier to like understand, like to the plain Jane or whatever. More commercial. And then the songs that I write on my own tend to be a lot sadder. Like I write a lot of sad songs on my own because I get sad. I'm not working with other people.
But yeah, that tracks. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think we have time for. I would say one more 1 through 25.
What's your favorite one?
What's my favorite one?
Yeah, what's like the question
no.
that's like,
Oh,
I need to know this.
Man, I don't remember any of these. Hold on. I think the one that's giving me the most interesting answers was the one about like the first song you ever written. I think I asked that to. I want to say it was Annika.
Oh yeah.
And she. It was. I don't remember the specifics of the story because I had to do these things a lot. But I remember it being a very funny story. If you'd like to check it out, you can go to my YouTube channel and look up the Annika Meyerhoff interview. Let's see. I had to keep it. I don't think it's my necessary favorite one, but it's an interesting one. If you could learn any instrument, what would it be?
Oh gosh.
And let's say an instrument that you don't know, so you can't cop it out with. I want to play violin better. I want to play guitar better.
Right now, I think the saxophone.
That's a good one.
Because you can play a bunch of different saxophones with one saxophone. Or the trumpet, man.
Horns in general are great.
Just horns.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can switch, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome, yeah. And so now we are coming to the end of the show. Before we go, I have a couple more questions, and now this is the time that you can really plug yourself.
Yeah.
Any upcoming shows?
I have one with Blake at the Laundry Room. It's a quadruple show. We've got people from Atlanta coming up. We've got Blake. It's the ODP scholarship show. It's my EP release show. Lily's single release show. The kickoff of our tour. It's going to be a great night. It's going to be a lot of people. So if you'd like to come, I think Blake's got tickets in his bio, and I've got tickets in my bio. But yeah, it's going to be killer.
Awesome. Do you have anything to say to the listeners?
I have a couple more shows.
I
have
yeah,
another show.
Yeah.
The Hendersonville Arts Festival. My friend Carter Elliott and I are playing, and we're doing like a little duo action.
Friend of the show, Carter Elliott.
Yes. That's all I can remember, but yeah, anyways.
Yeah. So anything to say to the listeners?
If you're still here, thank you for watching and listening. I guess if you'd like to stay tuned for my EP, it'll be out next Friday, and I guess I'm super stoked about the song coming out tonight.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Any shout-outs?
Shout out to everyone that I've worked with, and to you, just like for like being on top of it and being like invested in other people's music and like being invested in my music. It's like impossible to do anything without other people, and so I don't know, I'm just really excited to see like where this road takes us, and like I know for a fact like whoever's like we're all gonna go up together. So
Yeah. It's always fun to use resources when you're on a campus just surrounded by people. And where can people find you?
Anywhere you look on the internet.
I'm behind you. I'm in front of you. I'm beside.
I'm in the walls. Yeah, Spotify, Josie James, YouTube, Josie James, TikTok, Instagram. I'm not on Reddit. I need to get on Twitter. I mean X.
We gotta start at r/Josie James.
Yes. I'm starting a Bandcamp. So I actually don't know how that works. I have a website, but it's like really trash. But If you want to look up a trash website, you can.
I think Bandcamp's pretty easy to start up.
Yeah.
Now it's my turn. I'm Louisville,
Yeah.
not Louisville. I'm not in Kentucky. Louisville is spelled L-U-V-O-L. If you want to message me for an interview, I don't think I'm gonna be doing any more. You know what? No, I think this is the last interview of the year.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I think so.
No way.
Because next week is not finals week, but like the week before.
Wow. That's crazy.
But thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being the last interview. If you want to message me for an interview way more in the future, then you can DM me on Instagram. That's Louisville_music, or email me at louisvilleonair@gmail.com. If you'd like to go back and see the back catalog of these interviews, it's Louisville on YouTube. I think that's everything I had to plug. Thank you, Josie, for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for listening, and we will now fade out the soothing sounds of Thanks for Coming by Arda Asmar. Thank you and good night.